Hello, welcome everyone, and happy Earth Day. We hope everybody is safe, healthy, happy, successful, and with a clean earth. We are going to start today with Bow Brokers Opens worldwide tours and live opens. And we'll be speaking with Florida Closing and Escrow. John Iowano will be joining us. And we're here with Anthony Bauza. And let's start with some brief news about COVID. I know locally all the curfews have been lifted. What else can you add?
Yeah, so in addition to that, we do have the extensions on the CDC National Eviction Moratorium through June 30th. That falls in line with the federal foreclosure and eviction moratorium and the forbearance period for borrowers with federal loans backed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. In addition, the PPP loan program, that application deadline was extended till May 31st, excuse me. So small businesses still have time to apply for a forgivable business loan, and there are still funds available as long as that application comes in before May 31st. Stimulus payments, they're still going out. The IRS has created a program, they refer to it as the Plus Up Payment Program. So each week, as a new batch of taxes are received and processed, they will verify if you were eligible for a stimulus based on your current 2020 taxes. And if you were and did not receive it, then they'll send you out a check for your stimulus that you qualify for. And as a reminder, this year, the tax filing deadline was extended from the usual April 15th date to May 17th, giving more time for individuals to file without experiencing any penalties for taxes owed. So that program is still going. There's about 1,000 checks issued each day with this new program, and it's basically as they come in, they're being sent out. So as soon as your taxes are in, they'll review it. If you qualify, then that next week you'll be in line to get your check. So those are the updates that I have for you.
Okay, thank you so much. Now I'm going to add some good real estate news. As you know, Florida, Miami has been on fire. March, in fact, was the hottest month in housing history. The median home price rose 17% to $353,000 per Redfin's housing report in March. Nearly half of the homes sold also above asking price, and also many have been experiencing bidding wars. This construction starts have increased, but with rising material prices, there's been some delays, which are expected to continue for construction materials. The delays have risen every month since August. That's because of the strong demand and the issues with the material supply chain. And now I'm going to highlight, though, some purchases that have been made locally. Peloton board manager buys a condo in South Beach for $16 million. A prison security mogul purchases at the Ritz-Carlton Sunny Isles penthouse for $26 million, which translates to $4,177 per square foot. A home that's called the Infinite Home was purchased for $25 million in Boca, with a lot of dock space, 350 feet just of waterfront space for your super yacht, or you could fit 3 boats there. In addition, the founder of TechCrunch says Miami is the best place in the world to be for entrepreneurs. So Miami, again, is slated to become a tech hub. And as we discussed last time, Mayor Suarez is in full support of that and just in time to add to the good news updates is John Iowanu.
Hi, yes, sorry I'm late. Came from another Zoom, but basically, good news for Miami. A TechCrunch founder says that Miami is the best place in the world to be for entrepreneurs. Michael Arrington, who was once Time Magazine's most influential person in the world, wrote that on Twitter, Miami is so perfect right now. He said that part of the reason is the weather, but also because Miami is alive in a way that Seattle and San Francisco are not. The city is vibrant, diverse, and on the rise in a way that Silicon Valley once was. And he finally added that another factor is that Miami has the best big city mayor in the country. So that's kudos for Mayor Francis Suarez. And then Arrington urged anyone able to move to Miami to do so, stressing that he doesn't think there's a better place for entrepreneurs on the planet right now than Miami. And moving to Miami significantly increases your chances of success. So, big words coming from an influential person about Miami. Great to hear that. That's great for us and our market. Some recent stats about our market is March was the strongest month of the quarter so far, as the momentum is showing no signs of slowing down. Money keeps pouring into South Florida. Miami-Dade is leading the way in March with both single-family homes and condos. And we've been seeing the boom really is fueled by the plus $1 million range. A lot of big money is coming into the area. And the good news is this is just beginning. The outlook for the South Florida market continues to be very strong.
Okay, thank you so much. And our next question is directed toward Anthony Bauza, real estate expert. Please elaborate on the inventory insanity. When will the supply shortage end? And there's less homes, but sale prices have increased. If you can explain that as well.
Right. So something strange is happening, and it's that there's seemingly no homes for sale, and yet the actual number of sales this year is probably going to be up overall compared to 2020. So the first instinct is to say, well, how can that be? If there's a housing shortage, shouldn't that mean that fewer homes are selling? And what this actually highlights is the fact that inventory is not an actual quantifiable measure. It is more a balance between the supply and demand. So although there is a large number of inventory available, that inventory is still not enough to keep up with the demand that is out there. The National Association of Realtors projects that a total of nearly 6.5 million existing home sales in 2021, which is up significantly from just 5.64 in 2020 and 5.34 in 2019. So this is easily seen by the fact that if right now the amount of homes suddenly doubled, there'd be more supply. But if the amount of potential buyers quadrupled, we'd still be in the same inventory shortage because there is not enough to meet that demand. So this matters for two reasons. There's obviously only two ways that this could be fixed, and it's either for the supply to go up to meet that demand, or the demand has to go down. The solution probably is not going to be one or the other. It's going to be more of a combination of the two. One way to increase supply, as was mentioned previously, is the building of houses. That's a very obvious way to increase the supply. However, there are many issues with that currently. Labor costs have skyrocketed. Many local governments have been making it very difficult to get permitting to go through. Cost of construction materials is skyrocketing. There's still tariffs on some imports from Canada, for example, on lumber. Either way, building houses is still profitable right now. That alone won't answer the supply issue. The other way is to get more sellers to enter the market, convincing more sellers to list their home. There's lots of theories as to why that hasn't happened yet, including fears about the pandemic, fears about not finding a new place, and wanting to capitalize on potential future gains. Whatever the causes may be, though, economists do predict that they expect more sellers to list in the coming months. The rollout of vaccines is underway. The rising of prices continues, and both of these things can bring sellers that were on the sidelines finally into the market. Also, aging baby boomers leaving home ownership, that will also start a shift in the inventory dynamics. But many of these shifts are very long-term and happening also against the backdrop of more and more millennials hitting that age where they're entering into the home buying market. On the flip side of this, reducing demand would be another way to solve this inventory crisis. There's kind of a sense that maybe this might be dropping off as people are now going more on vacation, so their search for homes is not intense. You know, there's a breather as things are slowing down. Things are starting to catch up with the opening due to the pandemic restrictions. And there isn't that sense of urgency as there once was. In addition, mortgage rates, although still very low, are slightly rising. So that will also play into a factor. Overall, however, this is not something that's going to be solved in the short term. We still haven't seen the peak of this, and definitely this year will definitely continue to be a seller's market.
Okay, yeah, I think the rates rose, then they went back down again, and they're just expected to stay low for the foreseeable future. So that's good news. Okay, next question, John. How can you compete with all cash home buyers?
Yeah, it's not easy, and a lot of buyers, I'm sure, can actually say that. Then buyers have to face some difficult decisions. One of the ideas, and I'm not too crazy about it, is waiving contingencies. Some sellers will ask maybe for the buyer to waive the inspection contingency, or also to waive the appraisal contingency. These are strategies that will make the buyer's offer stronger, but could end up costing the buyer thousands of dollars. So it's a risky strategy. You can propose it to the buyers, but let them make the ultimate decision. And if they do, I highly recommend you get it in writing. Maybe just follow up with an email that says you received their request to waive the inspection contingency. But definitely the most effective strategy is to come in all cash. Home buyers who offer all cash are nearly quadrupling their chances of winning the bidding war. So if we don't want to maybe waive the contingencies of financing or the appraisal, some other ideas are, if you have a homeowner that's currently a little bit stressed out about selling because they haven't found their property yet, you can offer some flexible closing times, or even maybe offer the seller to do a post-closing occupancy where they can stay in the property after closing until they find their own place. Obviously, putting limits on that, it's important. You don't want them to stay there for years. So that's an option. Another option the buyer can do is maybe offer to pay for the seller's closing costs and maybe even some taxes. But yeah, if you can get your buyer maybe to come in all cash, that seems to be what's winning these bids right now.
Okay, thank you. Miami's new tech-based buyers, many want single-family homes. The question is addressed to Anthony, but are they here to stay?
Right. So as John was mentioning earlier, Miami has been presented with an extraordinary moment right now to reshape its identity in the coming decades as a global center for technology, innovation, and finance. The main drivers of this phenomenon include the collective frustration of California and New York-based tech and finance CEOs over high taxes and costs of living in their respective states, along with more restrictive COVID policies, and the dramatic ease with which virtual work and education have now become so mainstream, and as well as exceptional marketing on the part of our region's real estate and economic development and political leaders over the past decade. In Miami, these companies have found a culturally vibrant and diverse city, tax-friendly state, great weather, many resources for them that welcome them here. And as Francis Suarez has been in the news fairly recently, there's a constant now stream of headlines and articles announcing major decision makers, entrepreneurs, and investors either relocating, expanding, or launching companies in South Florida. The growing list of tech and finance businesses announcing intentions to move or open an office here include Starwood Capital, Icon Enterprises, Citadel, Pipe Technologies, and Bloomberg Capital. And there's even credible reports that Google, Microsoft, and Goldman Sachs are also looking to move into this area. Private equity giant Blackstone, they initially had announced their plans to lease a 41,000 square foot in downtown at Miami's new 2 Miami Central office tower. And instead, they just went ahead and purchased both 2 and 3 Miami Central towers for an estimated $230 million, which signals the firm's ongoing belief in the potential of Miami as a major player as a business environment. This phenomenon has put Miami's already hot residential housing market into overdrive as the individuals working at these companies now look to settle down and make a home here and find single family homes to stay put once they move here. There's tremendous optimism in Miami's ability to diversify its economic base, its impact on housing, and in our region's capacity to be able to absorb these tech-based employees as well as their families in the future.
Okay, thank you very much. And the last question is directed toward John. Working with international luxury buyers now and post-COVID, some recommendations. Thank you.
Yeah, big opportunity here too. Right now, there's some travel restrictions in European countries, so they can't travel to the U.S. just yet, but they're wanting to. I know a lot of people are just waiting to get here once they can travel. So there's an opportunity there for realtors to advertise in different countries, especially since the euro is stronger than the dollar right now. So they're up 20-25% discounts on buying properties in the US. So big opportunity here for realtors to consider. Also, realtors should definitely keep in mind of staying educated and informing yourself of your clients from different countries. They'll expect you to know something about their country. You know, you have to talk about Moscow, London, or Miami. Every day you can maybe start by reading the global news, French news, British news, Russian news, and even sometimes the Italian news, just to get a vision of what's going on in the country. Like, for example, in St. Petersburg, Russia, recently there was a fire that impacted the market there. So if you do speak to Russian clients, you can talk to them about that and find out what their travel plans are and whether they're ready to buy at the moment. So keep learning every day if you can. If you can pick up the languages, obviously that's great. Definitely listen to the news. So most agents stay local and don't think outside of our community here, but basically the rest of the world is outside our community. So keep that in mind. Also, be mindful of the differences of cultures and countries. The vast majority of agents believe that everyone knows about the US market, but a lot of them don't. It's different outside the US. Mortgages are different. in certain areas. In Manhattan, you should know the difference between co-ops and condos. In London, there's a difference between freehold and leasehold because some of the apartments there in the city are actually owned by the Queen. In Paris, there's a specific area that's very strict with disclosure laws about noise and overhead lights, so things like that. A good agent should stay informed of all of that and be mindful of that and be able to speak to your clients about that. And then finally, never assume that your wealthy clients have no spending limit. It's quite the opposite, since many affluent clients are very cognizant of the market. They know what they want, they know what they want to spend. So speaking to them about that, make sure you understand what their price range is and only present properties that are in that range. And then you're on your way to becoming a luxury agent. And good luck.
And I would add that it's smart to network with agents out of state and out of the country and form a relationship where you can refer clients to them and they could do the same and refer to you, as well as speaking several languages or have translators or translation devices available. So those are all suggestions, as well as having the virtual tours, the 3D, the immersion tours, and so forth, because many can't travel yet and see the properties live. So we can assist you with that as well. We have the BOW tools available, the live opens and virtual tours with targeted audience options and more. We're going to have digital dashboards available shortly within the next 30 to 45 days where you can integrate your social media. You could do commercial ads and targeted digital marketing per zip codes of your choice. So stay tuned and contact me for any questions regarding the marketing tools. And Florida Closing and Escrow is recommended for the title and closings. They're located in Sunny Isles, and I believe the only title company in that location. Plus, they are mobile, digital, paperless, wireless with several languages. The expert attorneys are there to structure your deals to close and assist from contract to closing, make sure each transaction goes smoothly. So we look forward to seeing you again next week, and stay safe and healthy. And again, happy Earth Day from Brokers, Opens, and Tours Worldwide and Florida Closing and Escrow. And contact us for any assist or questions. Thank you for joining. And anyone have anything to add?
Nope. Happy Earth Day.
Thank you. Keep the earth clean and safe.